Hello and welcome to Simudan and welcome back to Train Simulator World 2. So today I'm driving on the East Coastway and I'm starting in Eastbourne and going to be driving to Brighton, stopping at Polegate and Lewes only. So this is a route I know very well in real life, so I will be comparing it as I go to reality. So this is actually something I created in Scenario Maker, and we'll start here at Eastbourne, have a little stroll. So at Eastbourne there are 3 platforms, the one my train is currently in. Let's jump down on the tracks quickly and have a look. Got a siding here, which I believe actually has some points at the end there, which I'll go and have a look at in a second. You've got some various sidings and things here that you often see trains parked up in, as well as a little bit further down there's like a train wash as well. And this way we'll take a run up the platform. So got over there, it's all taxi rank. I very much doubt you'd ever get a lorry actually able to even make it underneath the concourse there. Should have some barriers at the end here. What does it say? Ah yes, you do. I seem to remember this quite well, that there's a set of points here. I think an old leftover from steam train era, where of course they would run the locomotive round from one end of the train and back to the other. And yeah, you quite often have bits left in the middle between these 2 tracks because there's quite a big gap, so that's all quite accurate. You've got the security barriers here. However, in the real world, this bit here that I'm walking in now leads out to the car park. Is actually on the other side of the barriers on this side, so that you can walk in and out. And again, there's this fence here. This building will be a bit further back, and this fence runs all the way along here, so that again it's on the other side of the barriers. You can't get out that way, but overall can't go out there, but the concourse looks pretty much accurate. There's like a doctor's surgery either there or there, which is like a 24-hour thing. Not 24-hour, but an emergency walk-in centre, and like a subway. But other than that, looking pretty good to me. Right, so let's jump in and we'll get moving. So hopefully you're all aware that this this line comes with the deluxe edition of Train Sim World 2, but is actually in the preserved collection, and it's the first British route that they preserved, and there's a lot more to come. In fact, I think all of them from the original Train Sim World will be coming over eventually. So if you own this already on Train Sim World 1 and you buy Train Sim World 2, you should have this railway, this route on Train Sim World 2. So just turned on all the warning systems, turn the master key on, and do that, and we should be able to release the doors. There you go, doors are all open. Again, trains, they literally do look like this on this line. First class on one end, in fact both ends of each 4-car segment of a train. This is an 8-car, and you've got all these sorts of things with the it's all pretty much as is in reality. It's actually a really nice remodel. I've heard some people comment on the light formation and the fact that they're not 100% right. To be honest, I've not ever paid that much attention, but you tell me. I have no idea. If you believe that to be the case, that these aren't right, these aren't the way they look in reality, then let me know, because I genuinely haven't really paid that much attention in the real world. Right, let's crack on. So lock those doors. Should be set to go. Let's give it a little bit of acceleration. There you go. Have a look on the outside. So there's a multi-storey car park here. That, again, is true to life. Over there, actually I think that's pretty accurate, if I'm honest. It's like a job, that's the job centre over there. All looks fairly much like you'd expect it to be in reality. This road is nowhere near this busy though. Whoa, speeding. I should pay more attention to what I'm doing in terms of driving the train, rather than actually pointing out all the locales, I guess. Now, I'm not sure why I've got a warning buzzer or a warning symbol down on my HUD there. I'm trying to figure that one out. The train's not stopping, so I assume I'm okay. I don't think there's any other pedals or anything. Got the AWS. It's just a warning system, so every time you go over one of these things, it's coming up on the track here. It should go ding. And that tells me everything's okay. If not, an alarm will sound. So if I'm coming up to a red signal, or even going through to a yellow signal, or amber, however you like to call them, then that will give me a alarm. Same happens if I'm coming to a reduced speed limit at some, and giving it some welly. And this lights up as well to tell me. So it's quite nice they've modelled that in this. So if I come out here, got some marshland here, which is pretty much as is. Over here, this is a miniature railway that runs around there. It's nice and modelled. We're going to go under a bridge here, which is Cross Levels Way in Eastbourne, that runs over the top. Don't think it's quite as steep as that. And on that side you have various shops there, and this building here is Sainsbury's, which looks pretty well done. This is Hamden Park Station, which we're going to whiz straight through. Look up there. Again, this is a Tesco here. So coming up, we should see the road come and sort of almost come level with the track. In a second. On that side, that leads you up to Hastings, Orr, and eventually Ashford International up that way as well. So there you go, road coming alongside here. So what I'm thinking of doing is now that I've done this video, I'm thinking of doing another video, but in Flight Simulator, where I follow this railway along the same course. So there you go, and that's telling me there's a 35-mile-an-hour limit coming up. So I better start applying a little bit of braking. Although I would be slowing here anyway to come into Polegate Station. A little bit more maybe. You can see it's coming up pretty fast on me if you look at the top of the HUD there. There's the sign for it there. It's coming in. Nice and crooked over. Here we go, coming into Polegate, which is my most local station. So, station I've used a fair bit. So as we look on that side, there's quite a long car park. There is actually a platform sort of further up this way of the old Polegate station before they built the new one. So yeah, this car park is extremely long. In fact, I will get out and take an explore around this station in a second. Release those doors. Let's have a look. So something I really like about this is I've actually modelled these. So the 2 to 10 car stop there, a 12 car stop there. There is actually a gateway roughly here that takes you down a ramp and out on that side of the level crossing. I don't know if let's have a look. So it would actually run down here, come onto this side of level crossing. I can't get through there, but and over there is actually a row of shops. There's no car park like that. It's like a little I guess square, if you like a bit of an open area. I'll back up. So they've modelled these waiting rooms on both sides. You got 2 on this side, I think 1 on the other, if I remember correctly. I'll grab that. Yeah, these platforms go on for quite a way. There is nothing here like this, and I can't remember these sheds being here unless they're in the back gardens of these block of flats, which do exist. But then you can't really see much that side anyway in reality. We'll cross the bridge. From the top of the bridge you should get a good vantage point. So you can see on this side, from what I remember, this shed doesn't exist. What you've actually got is there's this road that comes around here to the car park from the other side of these buildings. And then you've got a little bit of a car park here, or rather I think it's more like a loading bay for this, which is actually a co-op in reality, and this lot doesn't exist. Now look, there's a train coming in the other side. And then you've got this row of shops, but the co-op actually comes out to about here. So yeah, not entirely accurate. Then here you've got some disabled bays in this area, and a taxi rank. And then all this is barriered off.
If you feel faint, seek help at the next station. Do not use the emergency cord, as this may delay help reaching you.
The announcement place. So these, it's all fenced off here, up until here. Cycle point installed. I hadn't even realised that was other than that, yeah, it's okay. It's not exactly true to life. I mean, you couldn't walk around here. I think nowadays there is like a toilet here, in like probably in what they're trying to model there actually, but further back. And here there's some steps that lead down to the ground. So there. It's a good job I'm not running to a timetable. There's a ticket machine here, but other than that, this is pretty good, pretty well done. So this is steps here, I think. Can't remember. In fact, no. Is it? I think it's a ramp that side and steps this side. Because I have a distinct memory of jumping those steps. And this is actually a shop here, tiny little shop. Sort of a news agent, you know, somewhere to buy your sweets before a long journey. Never seen tables on this green, but there you go. And then going over here, we should be able to look up the high street. Should be safe from being run over. High street goes on for a fair way more than that, and yeah, it just doesn't look like that at all. Great, let's jump back in the train now that I've mucked around here long enough. Close that, close doors, get going. So what I like is this actually shows you which doors are open. I don't know if you noticed, but you know, have a good look at that when it comes up to Lewes. Again, can't remember there ever being a car park there. But there you go. So if any of you guys have actually spent any time on any of the routes on Train Sim World 2 or even Train Sim 2020, then let me know, and you know, I'm happy to have an explore of those routes, especially if you can give me a bit of knowledge on them. That's just a vigilance alert, just to let me know that or just to keep me awake, essentially. I haven't done anything with the train for a couple of minutes, so it just gives me a little bit of a wake-up call. There is like a warehousey thing there. I think it's an old salt mine, actually. But it's like a dome, which they haven't modelled on here, but it's a shame they haven't, but I guess they can't have it always. Downs over there. Somewhere, main A27 as well. .90 miles an hour. Now my memory of riding this part of the track is that it is bumpy, and I don't mean just a little jog here and there. The train throws you around side to side at some points. I mean, you get a little bit of a sway on trains on this game, but nowhere near enough to give it justice. When we get to Lewes, I might give a little bit of an explore, but probably not quite as in-depth as Polegate. I know the station, but not well enough to really give it like explore like Polegate. And after that, it will be straight through to Brighton. So here's Berwick. If you look, let's go to the back of the train and look at that. Oh, there we go. Back of the train, look that way. Over there is actually Arlington Reservoir. I think you can just... Oh, speeding. Didn't realise that. I think I missed it on this occasion, but you can just about see like a little rise for where the reservoir would be. Back up again now. So what I don't like about this is spacebar is for the horn. And I just get a burr. Whereas horns on these trains, actually, I've never heard them just go like that. I've always heard them go or probably more the first one actually. Now that I know that it's done on that sort of system, if that's accurate, if you're a train driver or you know about these trains, let me know. Is that accurate? Is that how it actually works, or is it just a push of the button or a flick of the switch? So, I mean, it does say there, high, low, warning horn. But who knows? It's just annoying that I can't do that by a keyboard command. I have to do it by the mouse. Well, I do like the attention to detail in these trains. I mean, they've even got the MCB up there, which switches from the third rail pickup that uses a shoe to the overhead lines, which I think Southern have a few trains that go onto sort of rails with overhead cables, but I'm not sure where. Let me know if you know. But most of them in this area don't even. They have the holes for them. There you go. You can see it on the third carriage there. They have the hole for it, but they don't actually like. Provide the overhead, but the switch is still there. You've even got the air conditioning here, which is adjustable, but it does nothing. Nothing at all. Let's open the window. Why would it do anything? I mean, it's not going to chill me, is it? And they've even added, this is always preset when you load, but this, so you can actually change what the front says. Let's change it, for argument's sake, to Eastbourne. There you go, now it says Eastbourne, which is where we just come from. Come through Glynde. Glynde, just a row of houses there, that's all I know of Glynde. Never left a train here, don't really have any need to. Let's reset that back to... And these screens don't do anything because it's basically just a door. That's the only thing the game has decided to use them for. This is a door. But in Train Sim 2020 on the London to Brighton route, and other routes that use the same model of train, these are actually CCTV, I believe, and they just give you some still images of sort of open doors and things like that when you open the doors, or no image expected here, stuff like that. Let's say attention to detail. Like, you can't really accuse Dovetail of lacking in that department, can you? Really need to keep more attention on speed limits, especially now I'm coming into Lewes. So there's the line up to Seaford, which is modelled. You can take in. In fact, I might do that in another video. There you go, coming up to a 40 limit in a second, so I'll stay nice and slow. In fact, the 40 limit, if I remember right, is the River Ouse. Yeah. And over that direction, there's actually a tunnel. If I go to the back of the train, can I see it? That road leads into Lewes proper. And yes, just in the distance there you can see a little tunnel. Yeah. 10-mile-an-hour limit coming up. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to set this 10 mile an hour. I've got a little way to go. Let's just a little bit of power. I'll be on its way. So over there is, I think that's a college over there. So I find it almost annoying sticking to a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's not impossible, but it is annoying. So when I come through Lewes on this game, I tend to use the speed limiter. Just works. I don't have to think about it then. There's the sign for the 10-mile-an-hour limit, so we'll take it down. The only annoying thing is I have to take it down, take it just below, then give it a bit of throttle before I can use that button there to then hold me. There you go, Lewes. It's the back of the train, we can see better. So as you can see, we're taking the Brighton route here. If you go the opposite direction, it's like a triangle. If you go up that way, you would end up in London eventually, going onward through up to, you join the London to Brighton at Wivelsfield and then continue into Victoria from there. Now if I remember correctly, stop there, correctly, the back of the train doesn't fit here. Pretty sure it does, in reality. I'm sure they use 8 cars here and I've never seen them do that. So there you go, you got the red lights now where the doors are. Right, nice little explore. Just across the bridge. In fact, let's just look out a window somewhere. So as you can see over there, you've got these flower beds. That's all pretty accurate. Quite nice. Again, modelling things like that. It's a bit more antiquated, I guess. I love the brickwork here. They've even got the brickwork in. So they run trains from Brighton that terminate at Lewes, and they come in on this track, and they never go any further there, although they could.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Coming across. Got like a cafe down there. And that's pretty much all I know of Lewes, actually. There's a tunnel at the very end of this platform. I won't run up there because I know it. Basically, I know it's there. I don't want to spend my whole video running around. And there's a gate there that takes you out into the car park. And somewhere over there, I think roughly there, is like a depot for the local brewery, the Harvey's Brewery. Grab that while I'm here. Boom. I'm going to cheat. Blatantly. No one's ever going to do this in real life. I can't close it now. I'll have to close it from the cab. But you know, this isn't real life. I can do things like that. Close that one. And it's actually only displayed one there. There we go. Re-enable that. Trundle along. Out of Lewes. Never actually bothered to try and read things like this. In slippery conditions, pull away in notch. I can't read that. I'm guessing that's LRA, but it doesn't look like an L. Up to 5 miles per hour before selecting a higher notch. So I'm guessing that just means first notch. If slip, spin. There you go. So just lots of little details. It's great. Right down to these buttons and stuff at the back. I don't think any of these do anything. No. Oh, I've run this way. That works. It's a shame actually that you don't hear that sound once. Ah, look, speed up now. Once your doors are closed, because conductors do man these trains, and it would be nice to have a conductor. Yeah, we used to call them guards, but nowadays apparently you're supposed to call them conductors. But it'd be nice to have the sound of the signal go from the conductor, so then you can sort of like bring it back. You got the codes up here as well, tells you what it means. So one ding means stop. One ding followed by two, closed doors. Two dings, ready to start, which is what you often hear. Not setback. Do not open doors. Ding ding plus ding ding. There you go. So all these different codes that they use, different ways of signalling each other. But I think in an announcement I often hear on these trains is, would the conductor please contact the driver? So I assume there's some way of them communicating, although I can't see a phone here at all. Ah, there it is. So I guess that's how that works. So this is a long, tedious piece of track. This just goes on for miles. There's not a lot around it. Unless we already have, at some point you cross over the A27 and then you cross back over it later. Or is it before Lewes? I think before Lewes you cross over it and you cross back over it. Or rather, it crosses over you and then you cross over it. So tell me in the comments, what do you think of the new Train Simulator World 2? Do you think it lives up to your expectations? Do you think you could it could do with some improvements? Yeah, let's have a bit of discussion about that. When personally, I feel like it could definitely use some improvements, especially in new features like this scenario editor and livery editor. Livery editor's just so fiddly. just takes forever to make anything in it because it's just clunky. It doesn't seem to do what you want it to do straight away. I mean, maybe your experience of that is different to mine. If you're used to that sort of thing, maybe, then maybe that's sort of what you're used to having to contend with. But I don't like it. And the scenario editor is, yeah, it's okay. It's better than not having it. Like, we didn't have it before, so you know I can't complain on that front. But at the end of the day, all I can do is what I'm doing here: program a train to stop in various places, and program other trains to do the same thing. So come into Falmer here, go to the back again, and that way we've got the Amex Stadium on that side. Nicely done. And they've actually made massive ramps here in order for the football fans to go and do their thing. Although sometimes they even have concerts over there as well. Got the unis here, and there is unis on that side, over the other side of the 27. Not that you can see them here, but they're there. And keep, which I'm not sure what the keep does. I think there's like some sort of file documentation thing. It's like an archive, I think, of some description. And Lewes Road going off over there. Yeah, as I was saying, scenario editor, you can only really program stops. You can't program any shunting. Once you've decided, you know, there's a limited number of platforms you can choose from on each station, if you can choose at all. Yeah, I just feel like it's a little bit too limiting, and I could have done more with it. But as I say, we didn't have it in the first one, so I can't complain too much. Come through Moulsecoombe here. On that side you've got another campus to Brighton Uni. In fact, there's quite a lot to it. Oh, didn't want to break that much. There's quite a lot of campuses. There's another one further up. I think that's supposed to be it over there. That sort of brownish building. Doesn't quite look like that, but you know, good try. In a moment we'll come through London Road, Brighton, before coming into Brighton proper, and we'll go over the viaduct there, which is just stunning. Like, I can't help every time I cross it in reality just sort of like edging forward in my seat to sort of like look out across. Yeah, it's just a really nice view over Brighton. I'm going too fast approaching it. So here you go, here it is. We'll go on the outside. So yeah, you've got the hill up there. I mean, this just doesn't do it justice in reality, but in fact, somewhere over there's actually a tower block, which is one of the colleges. You've got Preston Park in that direction. So just, yeah, it doesn't do it justice, but it is, you know, it's nice that it's in here. And, you know, there are limitations to what a game can do, and, you know, graphical limitations and whatnot. And here we come into Brighton proper. You see, I'm used to coming in from this direction and taking either that platform there or that platform there. I think I have potentially come into this platform, but very rare occasion. So, you know, I would have liked to pick one of the other two, but the editor wouldn't have let me. Or didn't let me. Well, by the way, if you want me to do a video on the editor, the scenario editor, let me know and I can run through making a scenario. And yeah, I can do a video on that. So here we go, we are now in Brighton. Nice and busy, as is true to life. Usually you'd have a fair few more trains in, but again, I couldn't program any trains for these platforms. It just wouldn't let me, which is a bit of a shame. Because usually you'd have sort of like London train and stuff like that. Yeah, fairly accurate. You've got a road that comes through here that's always blocked off, can't really do much here. Taxi rank around the corner there. This concourse is actually, I don't know, the scale just seems off, and these I don't think are here. I think they're actually more over that direction somewhere. These screens are more centralised. It's okay, it does the job, and actually this looks like Brighton Station. The canopy and everything else alongside it, it just looks true to life. It's quite nice. Yeah, they could have done more with concourse. I know you're not supposed to walk out there, and you can't. But it would have just been nice to see it modelled a little better than that. But there you go. I'm nitpicking. And over here, I think they've done it. It's almost as if this platform's an afterthought because it's just made of wood. There you go. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, then give us a like, and if you haven't already, then consider subscribing. And I will see you in the next video.